Welcome with Coffee with Chaos. My name is James, and here's my coffee. And of course, I'm surrounded by chaos all the time. So, couple of things tonight. Number one, thank you, Lawston, for that birthday wishes. I appreciate it. I've got a comic that I got today, and I started to open it, but I didn't finish opening it. And don't remember what it is because I ordered a whole bunch of comics at once, and this is one of them, and I don't know which one it is. And I got to this point. So I haven't actually opened it. Well, we're going to open it tonight. Then I've got my comics that I pressed, of course. I've got my top 10 favorite Archie artists. It was supposed to be from the 70s, but they're just my top 10 favorite Archie artists of all time. And we're just going to go with that. And I have a couple of honorable mentions, and so we'll get into that. I want to get into how I decide what I'm going to do to a comic. You know, when I start to think about conserving a comic, how do I decide where I'm going to go with it? Thank you, just your browsing. I appreciate it. Happy Wednesday, birthday. Yes. I got some free comics from the comic shop today because it was my birthday, which is always cool. Colorado born. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. So that was kind of cool, but I've already mixed them in with other stuff, so I'm not going to show those. I don't generally show the new comics I get, even if they're a little bit old. I just don't show them. If I bought it from the comic shop, I generally don't show it unless it's something special. You know, like when I bought those first and second appearance of Peacemaker. Those I decided to show. They're kind of special. So yeah, I'm going to go through and show you how I decide what I'm going to do to a comic. And I'll do that by showing you a couple of comics and then telling you what I would do if I was going to conserve them tomorrow, or start conserving them tomorrow, which I'm obviously not going to do. But we'll get into that. And then, of course, the chat. I will always respond to chat. Bob Montana was the creator of Archie. He's on my list. Yeah, Lawston got that one quick. Of course, I knew he would get it. Oh, and by the way, Lawston, my the comic shop I go to, the guy really appreciated you allowing him to use those toppers that you sent me links for. He really appreciates that. Within 2 or 3 minutes, he had already put one up on there. And I just printed them on the same stickers I use for mailing comics. He's happy. So I just thought I'd let you know that he is very happy with that, and he appreciates it very much. And then I told him that you sent me a copy of Lorna Relic Hunter. And he just looked at me and went, "You're joking." I went, "No, I'm serious." He said, "That's my number one asked for back issue, and I never had any." Yeah. But yeah, he was. I told him you sent me one that was signed. Dude, I can't believe it. Apparently, that is like I said, that's his number one requested back issue, and he's never had any. He didn't buy any. Yeah. Oh, that's great. I can't wait till you do more. Okay, let's go ahead and get started on this. We'll open that box first because I want to know what it is. And we'll have to switch over to my other camera, which is easy enough to do now that I know how to do it. And there we go. What's in here? This was dropped off today along with the canopy I ordered. I ordered a 10 by 10 canopy, so the next time I do those outdoor shows, I don't get quite as sunburned as I did this past Saturday, because that was a bad one. Bad enough I haven't been able to work in my garden all week. Today is the first day I managed to put a shirt on and actually keep it on more than about 3 seconds. The burn was pretty bad. But I got some after sun gel that I'm putting on it, and that seems to help. And I bought that, and I bought some SPF 50 sunscreen for the next show, in addition to getting the canopy. And I have that. I have the sunscreen in my car so that I can't forget to bring it with me. Oh, this is a thick one. I don't know. I was thinking it might be one of the torches I ordered, but maybe not. Or maybe it is. He sent me a Silver Surfer. I didn't ask for that. There it is. That's the one I wanted. The Innovation Spectacular starring Hero Alliance. Very cool. I just love the cover. This is kind of a cover buy. This is kind of neat because I have a lot of these Silver Surfers, but I don't think I have this one. I might. I don't know. Yeah, if he sold it for $8,000, I don't think he lost any money. Yeah, Justice Machine is cool. Elementals is cool. And of course, the what is it? There was another title that went with those too. The X-Mutants, which was not a Marvel title, by the way. X-Mutants was I don't remember. I don't remember who published it, but it was the first company to or the first Ron Lim artwork was in X-Mutants, I believe. I could be wrong about that. Let's go ahead and get started on these as long as I'm on this one, right? Starting with Archie's Laugh Out Joke Book from 1970, number 144. Now, I couldn't find the artist on this. I don't know who did the cover, but it looks kind of like the way Scarpelli used to draw. So I'm thinking that might be who did it, but I don't know for sure. And since we're looking at an Archie comic, let me go ahead and list my favorite Archie artists. And like I said, I'm going to do two that are honorable mentions. The first honorable mention will be Fernando Ruiz, who did the newspaper strips. And he also filled in and did some Archie some of this comic strips too, for the comic books. But he was mostly the newspaper strips. And the second honorable mention is John D'Agostino. I guess, yeah, I messed his name up. But he did a lot of inking work in the 1970s for Archie. Now let's go to number 10, Dan Parent. Now, Dan Parent is a more modernistic style Archie. And I do like his work, but it's not why I like to read Archie. You know, it's his work is really good. I like it, but it's not right there. Then Bob Bolino, who did a lot of work for Little Archie. And his stuff was really good too. And I lost to number 8. Okay, I lost number 8. I don't know who number 8 was, so we'll skip that one. Is that a Dan DeCarlo? I'm going to trust your judgment. But the way Jughead is drawn, it reminded me of Scarpelli's work. So we're going to skip number 8 and go to number 7, who's Dexter Taylor, who also did a lot of Little Archie work. Oh, okay. Well, Dan DeCarlo sometimes would ink other artists' work, from what I understand. Oh no, I'm giving my list of favorite Archie artists right now, Michael, and I did that because the first comic that I showed that I pressed is an Archie comic, so I figured I'd just go ahead and do that. I'm going to trust you on that one because you probably know better than me. Number 6, Henry Scarpelli, which is the person I've been talking about. Oh, okay. Dexter Taylor was number 8. Henry Scarpelli is number 7. Sam Schwartz is number 6. I like the way he did a really cartoony Jughead, especially on the Sun Fun and Vacation issues. So, yeah, Sam Schwartz would be number 6. Number 5, for number 5, I have Stan Goldberg, who pretty much took over from Dan DeCarlo when him and Archie Comics had a difference of opinion. He left the company. Number 4 is Harry Lucy. And of course, he was doing Archie in the 50s. And did some really cool work. Number 3, this might not be a big surprise to anybody. Number 3 for me is Al Hartley. I absolutely think Al Hartley is one of the most underrated comic book artists ever to walk the planet. He did all the Christian Spire stuff. He worked at Archie. He did some stuff for Marvel. He did some stuff for DC. He just an incredible artist. Number 2, Bob Montana. He had to be either number 1 or number 2, because he's the original comic artist for Archie. He created the character, from what I understand. But my number 1 favorite Archie artist of all time is Dan DeCarlo. And I will probably never go over the Archie comics again because that spans pretty much his entire time. So let's move on to the next comic that I pressed, which was an Uncle Scrooge, number 172 from 1980, and this is a Carl Barks cover. And I believe the cover is a reprint of something he did for Dell. And You just can't go wrong with Karl Barks. Probably my favorite cartoonist of all time. And I call him a cartoonist rather than a comic artist. I call him a cartoonist. All right, what's next? We've got a magazine, Vampirilla number 35, and that is a Ken Kelly cover. Ken Kelly's an awesome artist. What can I say? This is Four Color Comics, number 544 from 1954. Walt Disney's Rob Roy. And of course, I don't have who did the cover because it's a photo cover from the movie. Next up, Tom Palmer did this cover. Actually, Tom Palmer is credited with the inks, and Larry Lieber might have actually done the cover or the layouts. And that's Tomb of Dracula number 7. But that's definitely got some Tom Palmer influence into it. And I kind of suspect he did the whole thing, but I could be wrong. Next up, what do we got? We got a Richie Rich, number 160, 1977. I really wish I knew who else drew Richie Rich besides Warren Kramer, because this is an uncredited issue. And I don't know who did the cover, but looks like Warren Kramer. Another one of my favorite artists, Bill Sienkiewicz. Bill Sienkiewicz did some awesome stuff. To include this 1985 Elvira's House of Mystery number 7. Well, it says 1986 here. Okay, so it's 1986. I didn't read my writing. And Elvira as a robot. Is that cool or what? Getting a second look from. I think Adam Strange aren't just doing a double take there. And we have another Ken Kelly. This is another Ken Kelly Elvira cover. This is number 39. We'll move these off to the side. Next up, we've got Dreadstar, number 45 from 1989. And that is an Angel Medina cover. I say Sienkiewicz. Some people say Sienkiewicz. I'm pretty good at doing pronunciation on names. On the really hard ones, on the not so hard ones, I screw those up. Next, we have Service from 1983, number 52. Of course, Dave Sim did all the Service covers and all the interior art and the writing. This is another one that yeah, that's what I suspected, Felix. Here's another one you might like to try to track down, Lawston. This is Classics Illustrated number 24-166, a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. Really nice cover. Next up, we have Paul Conrad doing this Airboy cover. It's number 39. Only 11 more Airboys to go, and then I can start showing other Eclipse stuff. Oh, okay. See, I knew you'd like it. You already have it. But do you have... Do you have this one? This is by one of the all-time great comic book artists of the 50s, of the 40s, actually. This cover is by L.B. Cole. Believe it or not. I pulled that one out of a box of comics I'm going to give away, or things that I'm going to give away if I ever reach 1,000. Murphy Anderson. You guys may have seen this one before. Of course, I have another copy. My copy is in much better condition. So what am I going to do with this? I'm going to put it in the box. Hawkman number 1. Conserved, going in the box for my 1,000 subscriber giveaway if I ever get to 1,000 subscribers. Probably like you like the Vampirella magazines too. Speaking of which, here's Vampirella number 40. Enrique Torres. Covered by Enrique Torres. I think Enrique is how you pronounce his name. It's spelled E-N-R-I-C-H, so it could be Enrich, but I think it's Enrique. Who knows? Maybe you'll win the giveaway. You never know. I don't know who's going to win. Pacific Presents number 2. Covered by Dave Stevens. I had an interesting argument a while back about Pacific Presents because I was looking for a copy of number 3. And a guy asked me, well, why do you want Pacific Presents number 3? It doesn't have anything good in it. I said, yeah, it does. It has the first appearance of Vanity. And he goes, no, the first appearance of Vanity was in Vanity number 1. No, it was in Pacific Presents number 3. I'm pretty sure of it. Of course, I knew. This guy is one of those newer guys to comics that knows everything. And if he says something, it has to be the truth, even when it isn't. So I politely showed him that he was wrong, that Pacific Presents actually did have a Vanity story in it that predates Vanity number 1. And so when I explained it to him and he finally made him understand, I said, just because you think you know everything doesn't mean you know your hole from an ass in the ground. And he didn't appreciate that. That's when I still had my store. Yeah, I've been trying to buy a number 1, but I either keep getting outbid or I'll make an offer and they never respond to me. Here's a copy of Battlefield Action number 74. Rocco Mastrocio. Yeah. He used to call himself Rocky, and that's how he signed stuff, was Rocky. It's from 1982, and it's a nice high-grade copy, which you don't see too often in Charlton, no matter what year they were printed. Graphic Man Comics, glad you could stop in. Next up, we have another Archie's joke book. This is a number 145 from 1970. Notice, class, as time goes by, everything gets smaller, and Archie comes up with especially the purchasing power of my allowance. He's a teenager and he's getting an allowance. Somebody's messed up. Oh, I have 2 copies of Pacific Presents number 1. I have all 4 of them. I have 2 copies of number 1, 2 copies of number 2, 1 copy of number 3, and 1 copy of number 4. I don't think I know everything about comics, but I generally know where to look for what I don't know. I like to tell people that ask me, is there, when we're talking about comic books or sometimes toys or other things, they say, is there anything you don't know? Because I know a lot of little details about things that people don't realize. And I go, if they say, is there anything you don't know? I say, yes. And when they ask me what, I say, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. Here's a 4-color comic from 1954. Paul Murray is the artist on this one, and it's a Duck album. There were 2 or 3 different Duck albums, I think. Matt Like Comics, glad you could stop in. Yeah, I like this cover a lot. It's got all the major ducks. And in the bottom they have their ducks in a row. Except that's a gander. Here we go. George Wilson cover on this, Boris Karloff Tales of Mystery, number 71. That's a cool cover. No, that's Murray. Paul Murray did that cover. There's Tomb of Dracula, number 8 from 1973. Rich Buckler did the artwork on that cover. I like Rich Buckler's art. Always have. Agreed. Anytime you have a big monstrous lizard, you know it's cool. But the Buckler art on the Tomb of Dracula is no slouch either. Next up, let's see. Here's another Enrique Torres cover on Vampirella number 40. I'm missing a lot of Vampirillas. One day I'll get them. Here's a Warren Kramer cover on Richie Rich, number 162. With a terrible pun. This is no place to keep a vault. All I do is high, mid, and low grade. But that one, I would say probably a 9, maybe a 9.2. Uh, Elvira's House of Mystery number 8 from 1986. Dwight Turner did the artwork on this one. They don't publish good stuff like that anymore. Oh, I looked in the comic shop I go to. He has a pretty large selection of the Golden books. So I looked for the Golden book that you did. That's one of the ones he doesn't have. Go figure. I'll find it eventually. All right, here's a Dreadstar number 46, another cover by Angel Medina. Another artist that doesn't get enough credit. The movie's over a little bit, so the glare isn't quite so bad. Cerebus number 53. Here's another copy of that Connecticut Yankee. If you didn't have that, I was going to send you a copy. Lost it. I was going to send one to you if you didn't have it. Yeah, but you had it, so what can I do? Here's Vampirilla number 40 again. No, that's not right. This is number 48. Excuse me. And that's yeah, that's another Enrique Torres cover. I think most of the Elviras I have are under number 50 or number 60. Yeah. Stan Walk did this Airboy number 40. Of course, Stan Walk drew most of the interior artwork on Airboy after a while. There's Silver Heels number 1. Scott Hampton did the artwork on that. I skipped. I had some of my PC comics out of order, so yeah. Fighting Air Force number 36. This is Jack Abel did the artwork on that. Somebody took a pen and I guess they were making sure that it wrote. We'll get to those. Another Archie's joke book. This is number 146. This is one of my favorite Vampirella artists. This is Vampirilla number 51, and that's a San Julian cover. Has anybody noticed anything kind of strange about Loston Wallace's uh, comments? Like the fact that he has a wrench? I made him a moderator just because I felt like it. Oh, well, Jose Gonzalez is my all-time favorite cover artist for Vampirilla. I don't count Frazetta because he only did the one. Here's another Boris Karloff by George Wilson. This is number 72. Came out pretty good. You can still see it has creases, but overall, kind of happy with the way it turned out. This is Jungle War Stories number 2. Vic Prezio did the artwork. Now it has a big chunk taken out of it. Looks like rat chew, uh, but it doesn't affect the story, and it really doesn't affect the art that much. So I just left it alone. I'm not going to do any conservation on it. It is detached at the lower staple also, but you don't have to conserve every comic. That's I forgot to write down the cover artist on this one. This is Tomb of Dracula number 11. And I forgot to write down who did the cover. Yeah, it happens. Yeah, I'm almost done with the Karloff ones that I have. Yeah, except this is from the 60s. This is from 1963. And that looks like the Vietnam jungle. I think you're right. I think that was Frank. I know I know Frank Bruner did a couple of Dracula covers, and I think you're right. I think that's who did that. Richie Rich, number 165, Warren Kramer. Elvira's House of Mystery, number 9 from 1986. I'll credit this cover to Cassandra Peterson because she is Elvira and it's a photo cover. I still like it. I still like the Harvey work. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Here's Vampirilla number 53, and I forgot to write down the artist. Uh, I could open it up and look because they always put the artist on the inside. But yeah, I don't want to open it up. Another Angel Medina cover on Dreadstar number 55. Yeah, Ernie Colin drew some wild stuff, especially his backgrounds. It was Cerberus 54, Dave Stephen, of course. Or not Dave Sim, of course. This next cover was done by Bob Webb, and this is Classics Illustrated number 25-60, and it's from 1949, 2 years before The Mask, which of course was R.H. Dana was the original author. Well, the first couple of dozen were, I think, were done by Marvel, were published by Marvel Epic, and then he switched over to First. He took his character and left Marvel, and they were Starline. I think it was the first 20. Here's another Stan Walk Airboy, and that's the last one. I really like that one, though. I love this old style artwork. So let me switch back. So the question is, how do I decide what I'm going to work on and what I'm going to do to it and how I'm going to work on it? It kind of, every comic is different, and there's a lot of different criteria that I use to decide how I'm going to do something. Am I going to use Tingujo paper? Am I going to do just a simple, and I know people don't like this, but document repair tape? Am I going to do leaf casting? Am I going to do paper fill? How do I decide? And like I said, it depends. A lot of it depends on the comic. In general, if a comic isn't worth a whole lot of money, I'm probably not going to do a real expensive fix unless I'm practicing and it's something that I'm not used to doing. I'm pretty sure I have all of the Epic magazines, but I might be missing a couple. I know I've got like the first 30 or 40, if it went that high. So let's take a look at some older comics, and I'll tell you what I would do to fix them if I was going to work on them starting tomorrow, which I'm not going to start on any of these tomorrow. I'm going to finish up that Battlefield action, and then I'm going to start on a Lost in this comic. It'd be interesting. So let's take a look at some of what I've got here. So here we have Super Mouse number 24, the Big Cheese. And as you can see, it has some problems. It's missing quite a bit of paper at the bottom. And it's split. Now, this is a 1953 copyright. And it's a standard. It's done by Standard Comics. Leaf casting might be the best way to go with this. And that's probably what I would end up doing. But I'd also have to do some Tengujo repairs for these tears here and maybe for this bottom part. So it would be a combination of leaf casting and Tengujo. But if I find out it's only $1 or $2, it's only worth $1 or $2, I might just go with just straight Tengujo repairs and not bother with the leaf casting, even though that would leave big gaps that aren't repaired. So that's the first one we're going to look at. This is Adventure Comics number 277. It's an early appearance of Crypto. I think it might have some. Yeah, it's got some loose stuff on it. Does it have tape on the inside? No, it had tape on the cover, but that fell off. The cover's detached. I would want to reinforce this cover and try to put this piece back in. And I might just go with Tengujo on that, but it is very delicate, so it probably needs to be cleaned and pressed and add some methyl cellulose to it to give it a little bit of stiffness. So that's probably what I would go with that. Would I leaf cast it? I might. I might not. It would depend on how the cover survived the actual cleaning. This is delicate enough. I'm not sure I want to try to clean it. The same thing with this Strange Adventures. This one actually probably needs to be leaf casted. I think this one actually has some value to it. That's number 132. Peter Porkchop. I think I would want to do a leaf casting on this, just because it's a national comic. In other words, DC. For a while, they called their humor comics national comics because they were published by national periodicals. And I'm thinking the best way to do this one would definitely be leaf casting. As far as this, yeah, I would want to leaf cast this one because it's kind of a cool comic. Of course, I would need to leaf cast some of the center pages as well. I agree. This Peter Porkchops definitely needs saving, and I will eventually work on all of these. Just not right now. This one, I don't think I'm going to work on it. I think I have another plan for this. This is something that Michael Mayron has been after me for a while. He wants this so bad. I think I'm going to send it to him. I'll bury it under a box of Hot Wheels track or something. Just like it is. This one I would definitely do some leaf casting, or maybe I do a paper fill here where they cut out the character. If I can find a picture of the cover, or maybe a new cover, maybe I'll just go it that way. I don't know. I have to examine the interior of it still. And it's got a little bit of ink drawing on it. The interior is not that bad. Kind of a cream, a light tan to cream pages. Maybe leaf cast here and do a fill here, which I have comics that I have to do fills on. When you do a fill, here's the thing. When you do a fill, it's considered restoration. The fills can be undone very easily, but they consider it restoration, when in reality, it's still conservation. Next, we have this little Lulu, which isn't in really bad shape, except for down here with this, I guess it was mouse chew or rat chew or some kind of rodent. And that goes all the way through the comic. So if I decided to do leaf casting on it, I have to leaf cast every single page. I don't know if I want to do that. I didn't do it with that Jungle Action comic. And it doesn't seem to affect the stories at all. Leaf casting might be an option on this one. This is from 1960, number 141. So yeah, we'll think about it. It's from 1963. It has some water stains on it. It has a split cover that goes all the way. I think I would do leaf casting on this one. Mostly because it would stay in my collection. How you doing, Jackson Roy Kirk? Glad to see you. This one, I probably wouldn't bother even working on. It's not that uncommon a book. It's probably worth $1 or $2 at the most. Unless I just wanted to practice working on a Silver Age gold key, I probably wouldn't do anything to it. This is from July of 1963. Definitely a leaf cast, just because it's cool. I like the Buster Brown comics. They're kind of cool. This one just has some pieces missing from the... If I did anything to it, I would just do a spine reinforcement, probably with Jingujo. And that would be all I would do to it. I might not even do that to it. I might just toss it in the... I might just decide to press it. No, definitely a Tengujo repair. I didn't realize it was split all the way. But that's not a hard one. I could do that in an afternoon. When you do a Tengujo paper repair, It's always best to get it wet, but it's not, you don't have to. I don't have a problem with restoration. I'll look at those and see what I think. This one is definitely going to be a combination repair. This one I am actually going to work on as soon as I get a chance, because it's early Patsy Walker, and it needs help. This is from 1957, and it's Patsy Walker, date with Patsy Walker, #1. And that's why I'm going to do a repair on it. Probably Tingujo up here, or maybe even leaf cast. I'll leaf cast in these areas and along the spine. But yeah, Patsy Walker #1. I might start that within the next couple of months. I think I've shown these before. The Perfect Crime, March 1952. I don't know if this one has the back cover or not. Yeah, this one has the back cover. Another one that I would want to leaf cast. Pre-code crime. Yeah, definitely a leaf cast option. Yes, the future Hellcat, Patsy Walker. New Romance comics. These are so hard to find, especially in good condition. This New Romance is #5. Maybe I could get away with the Jingujo repair. Probably end up needing to do leaf casting. I don't know. It's another crime. This is the Perfect Crime, #16 from 1951. It's a leaf casting candidate for sure. And this one, I don't think I need to do anything but clean and press this one. Yeah, this is a simple clean and press. And this was from the New York News Syndicate. It's a Job Corps thing. This is one of the giveaways they did for the Job Corps. You know what? We're going to put this over here where you can't see it. Well, I'll show you when I come back. Uncle Charles Fables. This is a leaf cast project that I've been wanting to do for a while. Love Charles Bureau art. So yeah. Reptosaurus. I'm not taking this out of the Ziploc because look at all these flaky pieces. But yeah, this one I'll be working on at some point. It's an older Charlton. I think this is from the late 50s. I might be wrong. And this Mutton Jeff, I'm not going to work on. But it needs conservation, but I'm not going to work on it. But it needs conservation, but I'm not going to work on it. Why aren't you going to work on it? Because I don't have the back cover. It's got a really bad spine roll too. I am actively looking for a back cover for this. I think it's number 37. It's either number 37 or number 39. I forget which. Number 37, 1948. If I can find a picture of the back cover, I might go that route and just do a fill for the back cover. Oh, cool. So that Reptosaurus definitely needs to be fixed. And then we have Space War. This is number 18 from 1962. All I'm going to do with this is reinforce the spine at the staples, put the cover back on, make sure it doesn't have a spine roll, and press it, clean and press it. I'm not going to worry about this piece missing over here. And this is number 18. Go back to me. So what do I look at? I look at value. I look at the amount of work it's going to take, because if you know, you don't want to do 40 or 50 hours of work on a comic that's worth $5, unless you're practicing to get better. And sometimes that's what I do. This little Abner, it's going to go over here on top of my pile of comics to clean, so that I can press it later on in the week. Probably this weekend I'll press that. So you may see that one on Wednesday night. But as for the next comic I work on, once I finish that Battlefield Action, I want to say this one, but that's not going to be it. This is the next one I'll be working on, and I'm doing that one for Loston. And we'll see how it comes out. Hopefully I can do some good work to it and make it look good, and it'll come out all right. Let me take a look. I didn't want to open that, but I will. Okay, Reptosaurus the Terrible, number 3, January 1962. I will do my best. And that's all I can. That's all I can do is do my best. So like I said, the amount of work it's going to take to repair it, the value of the book, and the amount of time I'm willing to devote to it, and how much it needs. That's a big factor too. Sometimes when I'm cleaning a comic, I'll run across one that's that the cover is loose, and I'll just do a quick repair on it, and boom, off it goes. Some of them I spend more time on. I do have a guy with a Spider-Man 129 that he wants some work done to it. The staple is, the bottom staple is completely rusted out, which tells me it has water stains on it. And he said he knows that there's nothing I can do about the rust. And I just smiled and I said, yeah, we'll see. But I don't have it yet. He hasn't decided 100% he wants me to do it. Because if I have to take a comic book apart for somebody else, generally, especially if they're planning on paying me to do the work, I'm going to start it at $50. If I have to take the comic book apart, it's going to cost me $50. And then I have to charge a little bit for materials used. So if I have to clean every single page and then turn around and try to remove the rust from every single page because it has rust migration, in addition to maybe doing some spot casting on it, we're talking $2 to $3 a page plus the $50. So yeah, it could run into quite a bit of money for me. But I don't charge people a lot for doing comics. And I'd love to do a Spider-Man 129. I've owned several copies over the past. At one time in my store, I had 2 copies. One was super high grade. They didn't have grading services at that time, but I had it marked at Near Mint Plus because that's how nice it was. And it was stolen, unfortunately. And then I had a mid-grade copy that I sold. I think I got about $35 for it. Not a lot. But then you could buy a nice high-grade copy of Spider-Man 129 in the 90s for $100. Yeah, I have some Conga, I have some Gorgo, and now I have a Reptosaurus. So yeah, I have the unholy trinity of Charlton. Now you might have noticed in my video this morning, if you watched it, along here it was bright red, and that's because I had a really bad sunburn from Saturday. I was out in the sun from 9:30 in the morning to 5 o'clock, and I forgot my sunscreen, which I now have in my car, an SPF 50. I have it in the car, so I never will be without. Sunday, when I realized how bad that sunburn was, the first thing I did was I went and I bought some after sun gel to put on it, and that helps a little bit with the pain. Still couldn't wear a shirt for a couple of days, which meant no work in the garden. And then I got thinking about it, and I bought a canopy to go over my area. You would be amazed at some of the stuff I had back in the 60s or in the 70s even. For DC Comics, yeah, the first showcase, Green Lantern, I think it was what, number 34, something like that. Hawkman, The Atom, number 1, Hawkman, number 1, Green Lantern, number 1, Justice League of America, number 1. Yeah, I had a lot of never had showcase number 4. Never. That's a comic I've never owned. Seen it plenty of times. Never wanted to spend the money on it that people wanted for it. Yeah, I can understand that. So I had JWH. I just noticed you. Glad you could stop in. Yeah, we get all kinds of neat comics. And You don't know what to do with them. I've got so many. Uh, one of the guys at the store on Saturday, because that it was outside the store, but I go in the store every now and then to steal some of his air conditioning. And that's what I would say when I walked in. Oh, I'm just here to steal some air conditioning. Um, one of the guys said, "Do you read all of your comics?" And I looked at him. I went, "I want to." I said, "But when you sometimes buy 1,000 at a time, it's kind of hard to read them all." Uh, I read, I read a minimum of 5 a day, and I'm way, 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 way behind. And that's just on the new comics. I'm way behind because there's been a few times where I ended up buying 10 or 15 new comics. Yeah, I should be able to read those in a week, right? But I'm also reading other stuff. You know? Yes, today is my birthday. I turned 72 years young. And, yeah, I think I'm all right. I'm doing pretty good. Been losing a little excess weight that I didn't want to have in the first place. I get out a little bit, do a little bit of exercise. I cut the grass with the push mower. Matter of fact, I'm the only one in my area that uses a push mower because most of us have at least a half an acre. Most of them have riding mowers. I had a riding mower for a while, but I like push mower better. It gives me some exercise. And then the garden, that's a little more exercise when I can get out there and do it. And I like to walk, so that's good too. I take nice long walks. I'll drive down to a creek I know of, and then I'll walk along the creek for a while. It's kind of a nature walk. Yeah, I like doing stuff like that. And sometimes in the summer, I'll roll up my pants and take my shoes off and walk down the middle of the creek. Unfortunately, one time I did that and stepped in a hole and went up to about here. You got to be careful when you do stuff like that. Oh, that's cool. Well, happy birthday to you as well. I don't have a goal. My goal is to feel better, and I've achieved that so far. But I still like it to drop a couple more. The more I drop, the better I'll feel. I'm sure. But when I was at 240 or 245, right around there, I didn't want to do anything. I was lazy. I didn't want to clean. I didn't even want to wash the dishes. It's not something I do religiously. I get up and I'd look at my bed, and instead of making it in the morning like I normally would, I just went, I'm just going to mess it up tonight. And then I'd come in here and sit and do computer stuff all day and not do anything. And that wasn't cutting it. I was starting to get really bad and decided, I looked in the mirror one day and I'm a heart attack waiting to happen. Let me lose some weight. So I decreased the amount of food I eat, and I get a little bit of exercise, not a lot, just a little bit. I move around a little more than what I was. And like I said, I go for walks and cut my grass. Lost a significant amount. I'm down to about 214 now. And that's taken me about 7 or 8 months to get from 245 to 218. But you got to consider it took me 71 years to get to 245. So, you know, you're not going to come off right away. Yeah. I still consider myself new to conservation, even though I've been dabbling in it for many, many years. I mean, the first time I took out The spine roll was in the 70s. And I was in the kitchen and I had a towel folded on the table and had the comic book in between a couple of towels and ironed it flat and then made a new spine and ironed it. And my mom came in, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm ironing a comic." And she looked at me and went, "No, not my good towels." She pulled out a roll of parchment paper, handed it to me, and said, "Use this." I went, "What?" She went, "Yeah, that will protect the paper." I said, "Are you sure? Because this is paper." She went, "If it's good enough to bake cookies on, it's good enough to iron a comic book." Of course, people still use parchment paper. I still use parchment paper. When I press a magazine, I use parchment paper. And sometimes when I'm taking the creases off of corners, where they're folded over, I'll use parchment paper. I'll dampen it and use parchment paper along with my tack iron, and it works. So parchment paper is cheap and it works. Well, I sleep better until I get the leg cramps. I do get some nasty uh, cramps in my legs sometimes early in the morning, like anywhere from 3 to 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll get Charlie horses in my calves, and they're just. I have to get up and walk around a little bit, then I can go back to bed. I've been collecting comics for many, 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 many years. As far as I know, yeah. I don't get the cramps as often as I used to. I started drinking uh, Powerade. I was going to do Gatorade, but Powerade actually has more of the electrolytes, and that seems to help a lot. Yeah, parchment paper is cheap. Silicone release paper is expensive. I do use silicone release paper on comics, though. Uh, I bought some just to try it out, and I like it, so that's what I use. But unlike some people who say you can only use this once, no, I use it for about a month. When the silicone release paper starts getting discolored, that's when I stop using it and use a new piece. Yeah, people get away from it. I've collected and stopped and collected and stopped. I stopped collecting. As a matter of fact, I didn't collect hardly anything while I was for the 11 years I was in the Army. And then when I first moved to Texas, I didn't know where to buy comics. So there was a number of years there that I didn't buy anything new, and kind of had gotten out of collecting because I was poor and didn't have any money. So I just had some of the comics that I brought with me, and then some of the other ones were sent to me and brought down to me. So that helped. Yeah, but I'm not dehydrated. So I'll have to check on that. When people ask me if I collect a particular era, I say yes, and it doesn't matter what era they talk about. Yeah, yeah, I have some of those. I had a kid. I call him a kid. He's like 22 years old, but to me, he's a kid. He said, "Do you have any old comics?" I said, "What do you mean old?" He said, like from the 80s." And I went, "I don't consider those old. Those are new." He went, no, man, they're really old. And I got thinking about it. Yeah, they are old, but not to me. I want to tell him, no, I don't have any from the 80s, but I have a lot from the 50s and 60s and 70s, some from the 40s. But I had, that was the day that I had taken Superman 14 to show the comic guy and or show him what I had gotten, because I was really proud that I got it. And I said, I looked at him, and I still had it in my hand, and it was in a, a mailing envelope, because that's a good way to transport them when you're just taking them to show somebody. Mailing envelope with the bubble wrap on the inside. And I said, does this count as old? And I pulled that out, and it's got a jaw drop. I guess you do have some old ones. I went, yeah, we do. A couple. I have a few comics from the 30s. Very few. I think 3. I have maybe 40 or 50 from the 40s, maybe more. Probably 100 to 200 from the 50s. At least 1,000 from the 60s. And that's just, Superman action comics, adventure comics. A couple, 4,000 or 5,000 from the Bronze Age, from the 70s, and from the 80s. I don't know, a couple thousand of those. Maybe 4,000 or 5,000 from the 90s, and I've just got a lot of comics. Which reminds me, I threw the Hawkman #1 in my 1,000 subscriber giveaway, but there's another thing I'm going to throw in there tonight. And that's this poster. I was going to keep it. Then I decided, no, I'll throw that in with the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. After all, I have the comics. So I'll throw the poster in there. Yeah. Love Jim Bland's Catwoman. He's so good. I have at least the first 100 issues of Catwoman from the 90s. And of course, I have the 4-issue miniseries that we do. But yeah, I think that'd be a nice little item to add to the giveaway stuff. Don't know what else is going to go in there. As I find stuff, I'll just toss it in there. Like that Hawkman #1 I Conserve. Put it in there. It'll be in the 1,000 comic giveaway, or the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. If I ever get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm back down to 872. I was up to 875, and then it dropped again. Oh. Yeah. And not to mention, the stories were really good. That whole run of stories for Catwoman, really good. I've been reading. I'm up to number 76, and I started with number 73. Okay, so I started late. I still haven't decided if I like this or not. I'm not a huge fan of this style of art, but I can live with it. But you got to consider, when I first started reading comics, I was reading comics drawn by Murphy Anderson, Joe Kubert, Kurt Swan, Kurt Schaffenberger. And if you notice, I haven't said any Marvels. It's because I never saw a Marvel comic until 1970. They existed before, but the distribution was so bad in the area that I was in, I never saw them. Uh, but yeah, a lot of the 90s DC stuff is underrated. They had some good stories in some of them. Especially when you start going into the mature reader titles. Like Preacher. My God, Preacher comics were so good. Hands down, my favorite comic from the 90s. Favorite comic series from the 90s was Preacher. And I have every single one of them, including the preview. I have the Preacher preview. I have one through whatever it went through, and I have the repop they did at #1. Just so good. Hellblazer was another one that I was a real big fan of. I don't have all of those, but I have most of the first 150. I need to get on that collection and finish it out someday. Swamp Thing was awesome. Sandman, incredibly good. Oh yeah, Schaffenberger, he's and underrated. You don't hear enough people talk about him. Gil Kane I was a big fan of the '60s Gil Kane. Uh, in his '70s, I don't think he did. I don't think his art was quite as good in the '70s as it was in the '60s. Or maybe it was just the person that was inking him in the '60s was that much better. Uh, Mike Esposito's inks were hard to beat. And he inked a lot of Murphy Anderson stuff. But Murphy Anderson did a lot of inking too. No, he was not. Why am I not surprised? Well, the bad part about the felt tip pens is as you use them, they get wider. You know, look at a brand new Sharpie and run a line with a brand new Sharpie, and it's nice and thin and looks really good. And then use it for a while, and then go back and draw a line next to the other one, and it's real fat and nasty looking, kind of shaggy. Uh, I know a couple of people who use tech pens, and they're really good at it. Yeah, I can believe it. But like his early Green Lantern work, just top notch, great stuff. Really liked it. Carmine Infantino was another one I grew up on. Oh my God, what a great artist! Very true. I didn't think about that. Almost nobody got their art back until Atlas. Atlas Comics was, I think, the first one to give all of the art back to the artists. And of course, they only lasted 2 years. Yeah, when you're doing that many that much art and that many covers, you're gonna take whatever portrait you can get. Yes, he did. Neil Adams was very good at that. He got back a lot of stuff, or got it for a lot of people. And he also had that company that did inks. All kinds of famous artists worked with him in that company. I forget what they call it, but they would just go in and ink pencils and make them look better. No, he had another name for it before he. Yeah, that was it. The Crusty Bunkers. I'd like to have a full list of everybody that was a member because there was some really great artists in there. When I met Neil Adams, and I only met him one time, and it was a Metro Comic Con convention uh, back in the 70s, and he had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder at the time. But you got to consider he was doing Green Lantern, Green Arrow, or just came off Green Lantern, Green Arrow, and was doing Batman. He was doing Dead Man. Dead Man is so good, and he's just. I guess he deserved to have a chip on his shoulder at the time. I I didn't have a problem with it, even though he seemed to, like I said, he seemed to have a chip on his shoulder. But his work was so good, I didn't care. And he would often be at conventions sitting next to Dennis O'Neill, who would kind of calm him down a little bit. And Denny was always just as nice as he could be. At least to me, he was. I don't know if he was to anybody else. The last time I saw him was in the early 90s. And it had been like 20 years since seen him. But he remembered me. And of course, I'm never going to forget him. He said, we can't keep meeting every 20 years because one of us is going to die before we get to see each other again. And of course, he has passed away since then. Oh, that is one of my all-time favorite Batman covers. The Ra's al Ghul standing over a Batman. What an awesome cover that was. And some of his House of Mystery stuff, House of Secret stuff, Neil Adams, nobody could touch it. The only person that did better House of Mystery or House of Secrets comic or covers than Neil Adams was Bernie Wrightson because he was the master when it came to that sort of thing. That's what I would have liked to have had him sign. And I think that might have been his favorite work that he ever did because he'd talk about it. I've seen a lot of interviews where he always ends up talking about that particular comic. That one and the one that introduces oh, what's his name? The second Green Lantern from the Silver Age. Uh, John brain died. I have it. I have it in my Green Lantern collection. I can't remember. I need to conserve it though. It has a big rip on the cover. Yep, Wildwood. We got Wildwood. Yep. Nick Carter, Bernie Wrightson. I think I have some Alex Toth uh, Tarzan books somewhere, and I know I have a couple of DC War comics with Alex Toth artwork in it. Bernie Wrightson is just um, so good. I have his Frankenstein, his hardcover Frankenstein first print. I had it, put it up for sale a couple of years ago. Uh, Nobody decided to buy it, so I went, yeah, I'm not going to put this on eBay. I'm just going to keep it. And Doug Wildey, I have a lot of his stuff because I have the run of what was it, Johnny Quest. I have the full run of Johnny Quest. So I have a lot of Doug Wildey too. I'll dig those out. I'll dig those out and show them on a video. I'll dig out my Johnny Quest collection and show those on a video maybe next week, if I remember where they are. Pretty sure it was that Comico that did that? I I would love to get into original artwork, but I don't have the space to display it properly. So I just have to settle for the small stuff. I have a few posters that I want to put up, but no room for them. Well, I think I'm going to let you go. I think that's going to be it for tonight. As always, great chatting with you, Lawson. I'll have to have you on sometime. Uh, and we'll have some enjoyment. So take care, everybody. Have yourself a great week. I had a great birthday. It's 9:38 p.m. here. So, or is that, yeah, 9:38 p.m. So I had a good birthday, and we'll see you next week, 8 p.m. Central. I'll drop a video for Friday. Uh, Hopefully, it will be the end of the battlefield action. I finally finished it. I have most of that done, and I just ran into some troubles when I did the fold. Some of the leaf casting came loose, so I had to glue that back down. And then there was one that it didn't go far enough to actually glue down, so I had to use a little bit of Tingujo paper on it. So yeah, I should be able to get it all put back together and show it on Friday, if not on Monday. And if I do finish it on Friday, Monday, I'll show the beginnings of working on your comic. You're always welcome to jump in, JW. Anytime you want, just pop in and say what you want to say, and it's all good. It's great if you can, go back to this and leave a comment. That'll help out the algorithm. Maybe have a few other people notice it and subscribe, and maybe I can get to that 1,000 comic book subscriber thing and give some stuff away. And so, night, everybody. Have yourself a great week, and we'll see you this next Wednesday, and see you Friday morning, 6:30. I drop it. And if you get a chance to go fishing this weekend, why not? Take care, everybody. Bye.